We do have a few ladies watching. We love you guys. You are always welcome here. But mostly TMP attracts males. It's a dude's show if Google Analytics data is correct. I think my audience, like I've said before, is like 99.5% dude. And that's fine. It makes sense. We talk about knives, guns, tactical gear, flashlights, clothing for guys, dude adventures, zodiacking, scuba diving, shooting of all sorts and descriptions. It's been that way for about a decade. It's a men's show. Now, all of that is fun, but the core experience is the tabletop review. That's what I'm doing tonight on two awesome watches. We'll get to them in just a second. And in that tabletop review or experience, if you will, I will sometimes do embedded mentions or embedded mini reviews of an out-of-genre item. For instance, I'm talking about a flashlight, maybe I mention a knife. If I'm talking about a gun, maybe I show you which watch I'm wearing. And I'll mention just a couple things very briefly, and on we press with the star of the show if it's a gun. I did that with a Spyderco knife recently, and I'll get to the comment here in a second, and it'll all make sense of why I do that. All makes sense. First, I'm going to wear gloves for this review. Oh, haven't done that for, I don't know, 6 years. I'm going to show you close-ups of the watch. I'm just going to try it, see if I like it. A lot of other watch reviewers do that. They'll wear like white linen or something. So, you know, my awesome, as in awful, fingernail hygiene does not distract you. On the table, speaking of out of genre, here we go, is a Spyderco Polecat. Kidding, that's a new Polestar. It's a cool knife, love it. Spyderco Paramilitary II coming out of service, wearing my edge. You can see it glistening there in the light. Heavily worn, heavily awesome, love that. And then, surprisingly, here comes a pocket pistol. Bet you didn't see this coming. Beretta 950 Jetfire and 25 auto. I carried this all day today, by the way. Doodle and I are always fighting over it. I carry it as a backup piece. I know, rule of law, you don't need a backup piece. I just do it for heck of it. He carries it a lot, the Jetfire. He loves it. And I think we're rocking, it's condition 1. FMJ loads is what we're rocking here. Now, let me just do this. Yep, FMJs, which I recommend in that small caliber. It's a tiny little pocket pistol, but great backup piece. See what I mean, out of genre? Hey, that's no longer being produced, nothing. We can't even buy that. I know. Still fun tabletop decoration. T38 patch, couple TMP patches in the background. But on to the star of the show. These two watches are from a company called AVI-8. It's pronounced AVI-8. And I showed this watch. It is an AVI-8 Hawker Harrier II in glistening pearlescent white, black riveted leather strap, and I raved about it in a mini embedded review, both in a gun review and also in the Spyderco Mantra review. And what do you know? A TMPer was paying attention on my enthusiasm for this watch, and he moved on it, and this is what he says. This is Jason Armstrong commenting on the Patreon side. Thank you to all my TMP Patreons making the show possible. You guys are awesome. And he writes, and if you don't believe me, here's the comment. I'll either show you the paper or just put it up on the screen. Dudes, he's talking about blades first, and he'll get into the watches. Dude, I still can't get over how good all my TMP approved budget knives have worked out. Not saying higher priced knives don't have more value, but even lower priced knives like my Vulcan CRKT can rock if they hit key features. Spyderco sounds great, but man, 10 budget knives or one Spyderco, a Spyderco. Another TMP watch purchase spotted that black and white AV-8 in a previous GRV. This one right here, I believe. Might have been one with a tan strap, I forget. Have had my Hawker Harrier II watch a week now. I love it more every freaking day, he writes. Bought it when it was $75, now $145 on Amazon. And then I answer him, dude, well done. This is one of my faves. I got it too at that price, blah, blah, blah. Embedded mini review, the good dude scores. Jason scores. Which one did you get, Jace? Did you get the black strap or this one? This is Doodle's watch right here. The brown strap. Doesn't matter. They're the same watch, just different straps, of course. I really wanted to post a review quickly so you guys could score it. The entire audience would score it at $80. But honestly, guys don't support watch reviews that much. I mean, they get low views. There's not many guys that are... there's a core, super enthusiastic core that loves them. But I wish I could do it like knife reviews. I could post like 10. I would if I could, but the audience not into that. So I just do them once in a while. But I'll do it in embedded mini, and you can score it. So $80 for this? I think I clicked on it last night, and it's up to $160. Still worth it at that price. Still a relatively affordable watch. But let's see, all mine I got for $75. 75 or $80, just like Jason. And I think Doodle and Last Suspect, of whose watches I have here on the table as well, scored the same deal. There you go. So value, if you got it for that, congratulations. Excellent. I'm still tabletoping it. Watch for it. It may go down. Watches are commodities. They're constantly going up and down in price. The thing about all the AVI-8 brands, not brands, but models, is they're limited. They won't produce this coloration. From what I know about the company, for that long, they're going to produce for a little while, and then it's going to go to the wayside, and they'll come up with something different. Actually, that's a great way to manage your brand and manage interest level in your product, unless it's a staple like we talked about on Spider Codes. By the way, this is not a short review. It's probably going to be, I don't know, 25 minutes or so. I've got 2 watches to show you. We're right now considering the Hawker Harrier II by AVI-8. And we talked about the value already, of course. But let's go back and just say what a gorgeous watch it is. A gorgeous, kind of classically styled, World War II styled aviation watch. And man, do I love it. It's got a big old face on it. It's a 45 millimeter face by 10 millimeters thick, this AVI-8 Hawker Harrier. They'll use different themes from British service jets, and by service I'm talking about in the British military. We're looking at the Hawker Harrier II right now, and it'll come in different iterations. So not all of them will look like this. They won't have the same presentation, but this one, well, you can see it, and we'll consider the details right now. It has kind of a date disc in the background, so you'll have a little red dot next to your day, and then you have date in this small window. This one has a red-tipped second hand, raised markers, luminous hands. We'll check that here in a bit. And just kind of a sculpted wrist art, three-dimensional look to it. It is one of my favorite brands now. I'm not even joking you. Of analog watches, AVI-8 is so sick. The way they do it and the value they deliver. And there's another brand I'm going to show you, maybe a couple competitive options before we end this feature length WRV for you to consider. It's not just AVI-8. They're just one of them. But I love their presentation. I love their quality levels. I like how they unapologetically use the, well, let's look at the case back of this Hawker Harrier II. Use the aviation military community in this instance for brand enhancement. So this is a beautiful case. It's a screw-on back case. It's showing a Hawker Harrier II, which the Marines are still using in the United States, but of course the Brits have retired theirs. That's a shame. It's a good niche plane. See my ugly face there. It's a good plane. I wouldn't say the Hawker Harrier, here I am giving an opinion on a military jet, was like the end all. I thought it was very ordnance limited when it takes off vertically. It can't carry a lot of ordnance. Doesn't have a lot of loiter time. It's susceptible to ground fire. I think an A-10 Thunderbolt II is a much better cast plane, close air support plane. Oops, there's my Air Force side coming out again. Still a cool plane. One of the all-time air show greats, the AVI-8. Oh yeah, back to the watch. You can see the water resistance here, 50 meters. Look at that high polish. I mean, it's gorgeous. And the detail, I told you we'd be looking at this in close detail, the quality of the Harrier II. This is wearing my watch crystal protector of armor suit, I think is what it's called. It's like a clear polymer. And so these are not, of course, sapphire crystals. They're mineral crystals, I believe. And so I recommend watching my video. It'll post very soon. If it has not already, I'll put it on a card so you can click on it. I'll show you how to protect your watches. At least the crystal portion, make them look better. Long aviation style minute hand and hour hand. That's what I love about this too. They're not short and stubby. They kind of make a loud statement. Now looking at these two color variations, you go, well, you know, it's kind of white on white. They're kind of hard to read. Well, they're black outlined in these versions, and I don't find them to be hard to read at all. And I am a stickler on legibility of a watch. Minute markings on the inner dial. Just a really, really cool looking watch. Here comes another variation of it, and this one's mine. This is perhaps my favorite Hawker Harrier II. And by the way, the Hawker Harrier series is AV-8 Look at this one. So this is going to be light blue against a very dark gray face and a dark gray riveted leather band. 22mm lugs on these Harrier series. Vintage aviation watches actually had pretty narrow lugs. Around 20mm was the standard of World War II style watches, and a lot of them will fall along those lines. I'm glad that AVI-8 decided to, widen it up a little bit. I think it gives you more options in case you ever want to change a band. I think it's more comfortable. Giving you a close look at this one, the Harrier II. Same beautiful case back. And let's consider the band too. I mean, the execution on all these watches is just so superb. It really is. I mean, you look at this and you go, man, this looks like a watch that costs a lot more money. This version here is not riveted. You can see this one is riveted. I think they're actually functional rivets. No, they're just aesthetic only. So it's actually drilled through in a double layer leather strap, and that's just for aesthetic. So the rivets are non-functional. I prefer the rivet look myself. I think it goes in line with the second cool of an aviation, a classic aviation watch. And look at the quality of this band here. Double keepers, polished stainless steel clasp that has an AVI-8 logo on it. Lined. So AVI-8 sells through Amazon. I'm going to put Amazon links down there because, again, you might be able to save some money going through Amazon, and it's a very easy return process. All these I bought from Amazon, or my boys did, and the ones we didn't like, we just ship back. It's super easy. If you buy direct from AVI-8, you're going to have to get an RMA number, and you're going to have to pay for shipping back, and you won't save any money there, so you choose whichever one you want. Look how flat that is too. I mean, that's relatively a flat watch, and it's a big watch. And let me see if I have anything for size comparison that would make sense. Well, I have this Tonier super affordable, posting in a separate review, field watch. You can see the size difference. This is a great watch, by the way. It's like a $15 field watch made in China, and it's awesome. But look, this freaking Harrier II dwarfs it. And I've always told you guys that's what I personally like. If I'm wearing an analog companion piece to like my iWatch, or if maybe you're rocking a Fitbit for fitness on your other hand or wrist, I want a big analog. I really do. In fact, this isn't set up. Wearing right now for EDC is an AV-8 Flyboy in ghost gray and orange. How cool is that? Now the Flyboy is smaller than the Harrier II. The Harrier II and the other one I haven't even introduced yet is going to be my favorite one. It really is. Those are my two favorite out of their lineup that they have, for both value and for how it makes me feel personally. Now here comes some of the boys' variations that they got. Here's a Hawker Harrier II with a black face, white hands, still a red tip second hand, and you can see the alignment on that. It'll focus here in a second. There it is. Mineral crystal. Light brown German leather strap. I say German because it just reminds me of an ME-109 pilot's watch. Brushed stainless steel 316 stainless steel case. These are quartz movements. They're going to feature probably Miyota or Citizen movements, I believe. The battery will run about 2 years, and then you can just screw off the case back and replace it yourself. This isn't a watch, speaking of philosophy of use, you'd go scuba diving with. Of course, it is, technically 50-meter water resistant. But with a leather strap, do you really want to go immersing it? I mean, we have dive watches and Casio G-Shocks for that, that type of duty. Here comes Last Suspects. Check this one out. He scored himself this OD green one. He too is a watch dude. Let me see if I can get some of these reflections coming away. That is a cool coloration here. So that has a dusty green riveted leather strap. And this just reminds me of, the coloration of World War I British, warplanes. This coloration right here. The Handley pages and stuff. It just kind of reminds me of that. kind of a dusty cream colored, all luminescent by the way, markings and hands on this variation of the Hawker Harrier II. Now the crystal is slightly domed. My crystal protector will go around and adhere to that, which is super cool. And you may notice on these two ones we have a black, I believe PVD coated stainless steel. So this one's coated on this colorized one. These are brushed stainless, so kind of decide which one you like best. And I really like how functional they are. So they're big, easy to read faces, obviously. That's super excellent. And moreover, they have day and date and a second hand. Just a really clean presentation. So that's a Hawker Harrier II. It's going to be 5 stars. I'll say it on camera. Even for the higher price, it's still totally worth it. But if you could get it for less, and those TMPers that did, congratulations. It's an insane value. It really is just amazing. And then I have another one I want to roll into this review. Here comes the second one. Oh wait, before we go to that, I do have another Hawker Harrier II. This isn't ours. I got this one on loan. Check this out. So I told you that this is kind of one variation of the name Hawker Harrier by AVI-8. This one, I really love the classic aviation, theme to it. But here's another one, and it actually has kind of a turbine face to it. How cool is that? Red cross-hatched outline on the date. And then check this out. This is so cool on this watch. I told you they're so unapologetic about, that's all the way out. I got to do it right about here. Here it is. They're so unapologetic about the aviation theme. You can there's like a precision, like a JDAM or something, a precision guided munition. So you can cycle between day or some type of bomb or rocket. That looks like an AIM-9M Sparrow missile. There's a bomb. That's so cool. And then look at the three-dimensional face of it. So it's like the turbine, the N2 section of the motor of the, the Hawker Harrier. That's so wicked, man. Now this one's cool because it has just a different presentation, but it still has those very legible numerals all the way around the face. And I don't know if you know this or you can see it in the camera. They're three-dimensional raised. Still a white-tipped, jet-themed second hand. I forgot to say that. So it's pointed like a jet. Super legible, though, don't you think? Super legible. And we're getting, again, day and date in this one. Same back. This is a loaner. Still line strap. Non-riveted in this variation. And that has a blackened single-class double keeper. But the stitching quality materials is just phenomenal. Whew, I'm getting excited. Getting excited. And then I have just two, of the Hawker Hurricane. No less special, though. Here comes one variation of the Hawker Hurricane. And I'll tell you what, I love this one just as much. Look at that. That is incredible. And you may, I hate to say money, the price, the money factor on camera, because it does change, obviously, like I've mentioned. But it's a super affordable watch for what it is. Not sapphire crystal. It is a quartz movement. And incidentally, I do have several auto watches in testing, in possession now. I love auto watches. They're fun, but man, are they a pain to keep going. Or you just treat them like a manual wind-up, and when your day starts, when you decide to wear it, you sync it up, and it's just kind of a hassle. So quartz are cool. They're low maintenance, and they're accurate, more accurate than most autos. This is the Hawker Hurricane, which, by the way, bore the brunt of the Battle of Britain, if you ask me. The Hurricane did. It wasn't the Spit. In the hands of a great pilot, the Hawker Hurricane acquitted itself quite well. You need to watch, by the way, the Battle of Britain movie. If I haven't said it before, I'll say it now. That is one of the all-time great World War II movies. Michael Caine's in it. It's such an excellent movie. Look at that. I think I mentioned that in another review, and some dudes were like, yeah, I love that movie. Look at the case back there. Again, so it's frosted and polished, bringing out the logo of the Hawker Hurricane. Classic, thick leather strap that it might squeak a little bit when you first get it, but it wears in very quickly, and it's durable and very comfortable. Black single clasp on this and double keeper again. Black case on this, and then this is a black face. Now, I'm going to show it closely so you can see the detail. No, you know, turbine motifs going on the face, but we do have three-dimensional raised numerals. I was going to say letters, but numerals for the markings, and I really love the alternating yellow-white pattern on this variation. This is going to be, by the way, the Hurricane AV-4053, and then you'll have some variations at the end denoting the color. Again, they're all going to be limited edition. They'll sell out, and they probably won't make it again. So I don't even know if this coloration is available in the Hawker Hurricane. I have one more to show you, and I really love this one. This one is in gray. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. I just think it's so cool. These watches are awesome. I'm also laughing because guys, you know, they see my watch preferences through like a soda straw, and they think I'm only into G-Shocks. That's not it at all. It's just I have to concentrate generally on whatever I'm doing at the time. Maybe it's a G-Shock. I can't talk about every watch that I like in one video. So as time goes on, we're fleshing it out, and you kind of see my, and this is just me, just my own preferences. I love aviation classic watches. I really do. I like field watches, classic watches, dive watches. I'm talking analog. And, you know, a couple others, but that's kind of the core where I stand personally. This has a matte bead blasted stainless steel 316 stainless steel case in this AV-4053 Hawker Hurricane by AVI-8. And it's going to have date, no day. Red second hand on this variation, again alternating white and yellow markings. Just super cool. Now the crown is not screw down. This isn't a dive watch, just a pull out. I have no issues with that at all. Again, we talked about the lug width. I think this is the 20 millimeter actually. Yep, it is. You can see the difference here. So on the top is a Harrier, that's a 20 millimeter, and this is 22. And like I said, the ones that go with classic aviation styling, which the Hurricane is doing, from what I can tell, it's going with the traditional 20 millimeter strap. Not a showstopper for me at all, because I'll run this strap until it just wears out and falls off. And then if they're still available, I'll try to replace it with exactly the same strap. I think one of the selling points on these watches is just the execution of the leather and the stitching. The polish is just incredible, man. It blows your mind. You go, I paid $100 for this watch? I paid $90 for this watch? Now, there's nothing to a quartz movement, a citizen quartz movement. We can wrap it up in anything and it'll look cool, right? But still, the value and the, like you read Jason, I mean, he's loving, he says, I love it more every freaking day. This watch right here he got. Yeah, so that's a type of enthusiasm. And it's just like a cool knife you're wearing, right? So you're strapping your EDC gear on for the day. Put on something that's going to put a smile on your face. Spyderco Paramilitary II and your AVI-8 Hurricane. Dude, it's and enjoy life. Enjoy life. Sweat factor and bang factor are very low for these watches, albeit that's a bigger watch. This one I think is like 43 millimeters across, about the same width, 10 millimeters for the Hurricane. Maintenance is not going to be an issue. Again, you're just going to replace the battery. Let me show you the lume real quick. And I'm glad I remember this. Sometimes I forget. And I'm just going to charge it with my O-light, and we'll see what it looks like. And this is really not a great representation of the lume, but it'll give you an idea. My estimation, I have that one totally upside down, by the way. In my estimation, the AVI-8 brand for lume, unless it's a specifically marketed and bragging about the super lume, they're okay. They're not amazing. They're not. They're okay. I mean, there's a lot of other watches. If you need to go do a night ops with a Navy SEAL mission, you should probably take other than this watch, so it doesn't really matter, does it? I don't even know if I charge them enough, but we'll get an idea here. And let me turn that off right there. There you go. Kind of see it here. Not too bad. So notice this one too. So there's no markings on that are illuminated on that version of the Hawker Harrier. On this one, you got all the markings. And I didn't charge that one enough, I don't think. Quick representation. I could get it brighter if I wanted to, but it's just a gee whiz. What do you know? Competitive options on this. Before I say that, I guess you know for sure that I would buy it because I have. And by the way, I do buy and sell everything as a reviewer because we can't keep everything. Once it runs its course, maybe we'll push some of these out the door and sell them through the web store signed or something. I don't know. But for me, I don't want to ever sell these. They connect to me personally. Every single watch on the table, I wish was mine. I mean, I got some, the boys got the others, and they make me happy, dude. That's what it's about. But will they sell in the future? Yeah, they might. Okay, a couple competitive options. You might consider the Momentum Flatline 42 coming up for review, and it's going to get an extremely high likability scale. This one actually has an AR coating on it. You can kind of see the purplish thing on it, and it doesn't seem like it's totally working, but close enough. This is a cool watch. It's going to be a lot smaller than the Hawker Harrier II. Look at this. Which one would I prefer personally to wear? I've already answered it. I like the bigger ones. I like this one. I like big analog watches. I really do. And I'm getting more and more like that as I wear more of them. But this is a great watch. It wears very easily. It's going to be much more expensive than any watch on the table. The Momentum Flatline 42. And it is date only, no day on that. And that has a textile nylon Cordura nylon strap. Here comes one. Oh, and there's something else I got to show you too. And I can't stay here all night and show you a bunch of competitive options, but I'll do a couple. This is feature length. And this is a great brand. And I think they're really giving a run of competition to the AVI-8 brand. And it's Sterling Original. Links below. And I just got this from Amazon, and it is fantastic. So this is along the same lines, as probably featuring the same Japanese quartz movement as the AVI-8 brand does. This is a classically styled aviation watch, and this one has extreme legibility. You can see the second hand in the window below. No date or date in this variation. And which one is this? It is, I wrote it down. It is a Sterling Original. It's here somewhere. I forget. Oh, here it is. A 684. That's it. 684. Love those big old hands on the black background. They also have a lighter brown leather strap on it. Also fake rivets. Here's the case back on the Sterling Original. So they have their own theme. You know, it's not necessarily tied to a certain aircraft. Still super excellent. Double class. Same quality levels as AVI-8. So I think you could go out and get a Sterling Original and be just as happy, albeit they won't have the direct aviation tie-in as these other ones have. And before I end the video, a lot of other competitive options I can show you, but no time. I'm going to show you the box they come in. And by the way, this is how I label my boxes. Microtech Scarab 2 come to open it up. And that way I know if I resell it, which one goes in which box. That's why I do that. Look at the presentation of this. And all the AVI-8 watches are this way. And keep in mind, I'm not easily impressed by a box. I usually think they're kind of hokey, that you put a big box, because I don't store my watches in it. But dang, does it do something for the brand or what? So imagine you get this Hawker Harrier II, and it comes completely wrapped up in protective vinyl, both on the clasp, on the watch face. I mean, it's like mummified. Then it has its hang tag, and I forget exactly which. This is to 400301. It's a Hawker Harrier II white face black leather. So it came with this one right here, that one. And yeah, 80 bucks is what we got it for. Steel. And then look at all the cool stuff that comes with it. So you get like a little data card for the Hawker Harrier II. Tells you about the aircraft, its service. Dude, that's freaking cool. It's like a collector card. Maybe you do want to store this in the case. Cool booklet, instruction manual. The British green theme continues on. Warranty card from AVI-8. Gosh, what a cool presentation. It is really superb. I mean, the watches themselves as they come to you, you're just going to have such a pride of ownership, just like Joseph said, or Jason, sorry, just like he was talking about. Dude, it's going to stoke you. And by the way, just to be fair, Sterling Original, and I don't know if I have the box with me right now, it does the same thing. It comes in a great box, great presentation. Here it is right here. As a competitive option. So Sterling's box is this. That's for this watch right here. So you open it up and it comes with a hang tag. Again, not aviation directly tied to, but it's wrapped, mummified in vinyl plastic. Cool hang tag. just beautiful. It's just gorgeous presentation. For a $100 watch, literally this was $99, this sterling original. It'll give you the same, like I said, pride of ownership of the AVI-8 brand. It's sick. But sure, 5 stars on camera. The Hawker Harrier II and the Hawker Hurricane are fantastic analog, classically designed aviation watches. I can't say enough good about them. Get them while they're out there, because all these will disappear, and then they'll probably have different variations. Nutnfancy. See you later.